Good evening. Am I? Stick around for, I need one of these, they don't. Stick around for a moment, we're going to talk to the cast in this moment. Right now, we've got them right off the banks of the Tiber and the Castel Sant'Angelo, and we're going to ask them some questions, so please stick around. No, you're there, we're not taking questions from the audience. No, not at all. It's quite too unmanageable. I'm going to go out of order from what I had, because I simply have to ask you right now. I'll get to everybody, but Liudmyla, what are you feeling, right? Can you tell me what you're feeling right now after singing Tosca?
I'm so excited. Thank you so much.
It's exciting?
Yes.
Excitement.
It's true.
Okay, no anger, no sadness after this. I mean, I'm feeling all of these things right now.
I'm so happy.
You're happy?
Yes, I'm so happy.
Now,
To sing with my amazing colleagues.
oh,
It's amazing maestro in an amazing place.
we've seen you here in the most monumental roles in opera, right? Aida, Santuzza, Turandot, Abigail in Nabucco, true diva roles. Where does the role of Tosca? What?
I said fitting.
Oh yeah, well, where does the role of Tosca fit into this repertoire? Is she all of these roles because she's a diva? Or who is, where?
Yes, my opinion in yes. This is actually my favorite role.
Really?
Really, yes. Tosca.
Why? Because she's all roles, she's the diva? Why?
She is a diva. No. She is a diva, yes, of course. But she very different. Those acts, she is very sweet, and the second act, she is very angry. But all time, she is in love, very in love. Yes, I like this.
Matthew,
For your question.
there'll be more. Matthew, this is a new role for you.
Well, I've sung it before, but I say relatively new because I only started it last year. Yeah.
That's inconceivable.
Why is that inconceivable?
You must have been thinking about it for decades.
Oh, yeah, of course. I mean, okay, so just to be completely clear, it's this opera that is the reason I'm an opera singer. You know, this opera. Yeah, I mean, this opera. It's okay. So the very condensed version of it is when I got to college, I had never been to an opera. I had never listened to an opera. I didn't care about opera. I was a strict rock and roll guy, and my voice teacher gave me a tape with a bunch of things on it. And the very first thing on it was Jose Carrera singing eljko Z. And of course, I didn't listen to it until I got to my senior year, which I don't know why I found this tape, but I'm like, what is this? And I popped it in, and that was the first thing. And I must have rewound it 30 times. And from this awesome recording with Colin Davis, Montreal Caballé, Barbixel, Sam Raimi is Angelotti, and oh my gosh. Anyway, and so that is the first thing that really piqued my interest in opera. And that was the first time I thought, oh, wow, it could be interesting to do this. I wasn't planning on it yet, but it was the thing that planted the seed that led me to this. And here I am. This is, wow, we're going back a long time. Now we're talking like the summer of 1990, summer before my senior year. So
Okay, but be honest, you were singing the aria in the shower. I can tell because you owned it. You were doing original things with it.
I love your work.
Yes.
But it's one of those ones that I even though I'd never sung it, I knew every word. I'd listened to it over and over, and every great tenor, and like I imagined myself. You know, it's funny. I always like to say, and I've said it before. I never have said never about some part. I hoped that my voice would continue to grow the way it grew, and I hoped that my career would continue on this track. And so here I am 25 years later from the Met, my Met debut, 1997. So I mean, like I'm 25 years in, and still adding things to the pot of stuff that I've been doing. Yeah.
This is not a new role for you.
No, it's not.
This is the center of your historic career. Does it bother you that when people think of probably the worst character in opera ever. And that's saying a lot. They think, Jean Palucic. Does that bother you, or is it an honor?
Well, no, we have to include Iago as well, cello, which we did here as well.
Yes, and there's a lot in common between the two. I've noticed when you were you were playing with the band.
But no, actually it doesn't bother me at all. It's nice to be recognized as an evil, pure, on the streets after the performance.
Really?
Yes, it is, because I succeeded. I mean, it's okay for you, dear audience, not to like me.
Magic honor, they move, right?
But we do.
And you know they were really bad.
Yeah. And so, I mean, it's really fine. With Tosca, well, actually, I never was a fan of Puccini and his music, but I became one. After doing Il Trittico first and then Tosca, Scarpia. So those two roles are, Puccini that I really like and want to do till the end of my career.
Another man who's not very nice, Michele in Tabaro. Kind of mean to women, yeah.
Well, I don't know, maybe Puccini had a little bit
Let's say you're a great actor.
problems, but okay.
Okay. Let me move from that. Maestro, we're dealing with big roles, big emotions here. What would you tell us is your biggest challenge in this score? Is it keeping the tension up throughout the whole thing, or balancing the soloists, balancing the dynamics? Why? Tell me.
The challenge is so big in the sense that, good evening, it's just that there are so many things to deal with. Technically, balance, tension, what you mentioned, volume, tempo, speed, the narrative. But what I enjoy the most is trying to be as much part of the stage as possible. So I feel the emotions, and the performance change one day to another, because we change all one day to another. The voice is different on Monday than on Friday and on Sunday afternoon. So we really, I try to feel them and to catch the energy, but at the same time to drive it. So it's just a very complex job in the moment. It's very, very psychological in the moment, and in the ears extremely, they are all around.
Are you watching each other, like eye contact, all of you with him?
No.
No. You just went for that stick waving?
No, the thing of it is, Will, if we're looking right at him,
You actually looked a lot today.
You looked a lot today. Oh, did he? But my feeling has always been, if I'm looking right at you, then they can see I'm looking at you, and that cuts the drama. No, instead of looking right at you, I might look right above your head, so that I can see you perfectly, and I can follow your beat perfectly, but it looks like I'm still in the moment.
Yeah, but myself in the rehearsal sometimes I tell them, don't look at me. Don't look at me. Don't look at me. Just you have to. We feel each other.
Yeah.
We feel each other, and that's why the rehearsals a little bit. So we feel each other, and there are monitors all around, and
They don't know that.
And I feel the voice where the voice is going, and I try to feel it as much as possible. And they feel where the orchestra is going when the orchestra is pushing or slowing down. So it's a very it's a fantastic job.
So I was right. We're not looking at you.
Are you asking?
But we did a lot today.
They do a lot of conducting with their eyebrows too. I noticed. Do you see that, or I just see that on the monitors? No, you're not paying attention to that?
You're imagining it.
I'm imagining. That's hard. Okay, now, what are you thinking and feeling right before you're dead at the end? You, not your character. What are you thinking? Or is it relief? Is it I'm almost there? Is it what?
My feeling, sorry. Actually, I'm very happy, and actually I'm a little bit sad, because this is actually really a drama, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, I'm very happy, excited, a little bit tired. Yes.
Matthew, without getting into the whole question of what does Cavaradossi know or not know, because we just saw you being conflicted and knowing and not knowing at the same time. What are you, the actor-singer, feeling before your death? Is it this, because your arc is different. You've had your aria, you finished it.
Yeah, well, we did have a conversation about this, but it's also been my feeling that when she says to him, oh, it's going to be a simulated execution, don't worry, they're gonna, when the sound things just fall down, and they'll all go, and then we'll leave. But I think to myself, the first thing I said to her is, Scarpia che cede, la prima sua grazia, but this is the first bit of grace he's ever offered. I don't believe that the execution will be simulated. I believe that he knows he's gonna die, and that in this moment he's just trying to take in as much of her and his life and all the good things that he's lived through, and try to think of those moments, because when the bullets pass through his body, then he's got that. This is what he goes out with. So I'm just trying to think of how much I've loved her and how important she has been to me, and try to be strong for her, so that when this all goes down, I mean, you know, like, I don't think her path going forward has a big future. I mean, she did kill Scarpia. At some point that's going to come out. But I mean, like, I'm just trying to be as full of love and appreciation for her and for my life in the moment as I can be.
That's superhuman. Oh, well, it's tenor. I'm not going to ask you what your character is thinking about right before he dies, because I don't think it would make a nice discussion. So I'll ask you something else about your character, which is, we're supposed to feel your presence before you come on stage and after. How do you make that plausible? Right? When you make your entrance, we've already known to be afraid of you. It was in the music. So how do you make this terrifying character plausible beyond sheer volume in your singing? Do you think about it? Do you think evil thoughts as you come on stage, or?
No. Yeah, well, actually, every role I didn't act at all. So, just pretending that this, what is happening to me, is in real life. And that's exactly how I would react if anyone or someone does do the things to me, something like this, for example, you know. So, if something is not as I would like to be, that's my first entrance, asking, what's going on here? This is church. You're not allowed to do this, get out. Exactly, I would react like that, you know, in real life, you know. So there's actually really no acting. It's me being in a position to be evil.
I'm glad you so well, I'm a school principal. One more question, then I'm going to ask the maestro something, but your duet in Act 3 that we just heard, the triumphal part, Puccini's publishers were expecting a very long extended duet there, and instead he gave them this very brief but intense part. Do you wish there were more singing there? No.
I'm not.
You have to say, I wouldn't want any more either. I don't know, I think Puccini's dramatic instinct was right. It's very direct, very intense, very emotional, and it leaves, that's the taste. A long, drawn-out duet it could leave the same taste, but I love it that these incredibly intense moments, oh, talk to me like you were talking to me, like we once spoke to each other in better times. These moments, and when he's appreciating what her hands did on my behalf, these are really intense moments. And when we arrive at the final moment, like the frisson, this energy, this feeling of what we have just been through is very direct and very alive. There's no way you can't lose it because it's right there, right? I mean, it's very strong this moment. I think Puccini had the right instinct. I mean, I'm sure Puccini was a genius and he probably could have written something incredible. But I love that everything is just each incredibly instinctual, hot, emotion, intense-filled moment from one to the next, so that all those things leave the taste for the deaths that are about to happen.
Yeah.
Like it's
This is like key moment.
Yeah. Well, this duet moment, the trionfa.
Trionfa di una stella fredda, in cielo crescente d'oro.
Maestro, do you concur with this? Is there any part of the score that deep down you think, well, I wish there were more here, or I wish this went on longer?
This score is absolutely special. Puccini had, through his life, so many of these genius, inspirational moments, and when he did it, and with Tosca, I think it's absolutely perfect. Of course, the arias, the duetto, the big second act, the ending. What I really try to do is to take care as much as possible of every transition, also in between all these big moments. Because this is also very important, and that's what helps to have a unity and one line from the very beginning to the end. It's very curious. In music we have different tempos indications from the conductor for the musicians. We have lento, adagio, allegro, presto, andante. And andante is a tempo that is closer to the normal life. From here you go out and you will walk in an andante tempo. 60 to 70 beats per minute in the hard part, so it's quite good. This piece is one of the operas that has more different kind of andantes for 1 hour 50 minutes. It's all kind of andante presto, andante mosso, andante lento, andante tetro, andante più mosso, andante all time. So that is what is closest to the verismo. He really wanted to be close to the real normal life. So among many things I have to do, one of the things is to have really homogeneity from the very beginning to the end, and have this little difference in the all kind of andantes we have through the piece. The character of Cavaradossi, Tosca, and Scarpia, and also I enjoy very much Spoletta places, and it's also the kind of intrigue all around and the dirty hand of Scarpia. I love this, and I think it's fantastic.
Okay, this is interesting because it's almost uniquely. Okay, so to everybody, I'll start with you, Maestro. What do you want us in the audience, what would you like us to take away from a good performance of Tosca? I mean, I get shaken up, and you know, but what would you like us to leave with?
Well, pure satisfaction. I mean, really, dear guests of ours, you should be really going home extremely satisfied with some piece of music that's still in your ears, and beside the tragic story, etc. But the music is absolutely phenomenal. You know, my colleagues, Maestro, discussed. It's a great pleasure and honor to work with them. It's really. And we know after the performance, we know exactly how you feel, because your applause and you know, everything what you give to us at the end of the performance. So I think that we all should be extremely pleased and satisfied.
And Tosca, maybe separately from anything else, was there anything that we could get out of a performance of Tosca? I mean, I get almost uniquely disturbed from a great performance of Tosca in a way that's very different from a Bohème or an Aïd. Anything that comes to mind, Mr. Heroic?
Well, it's a little harder for me to answer because I don't have as deep an experience with this piece as I have with other things. But for certain, what I would want from any performance, be it Tosca or Turandot or Otello or whatever piece, what we really want is for all of you to have been taken away from your lives for a couple of hours, and to be walking in the shoes of these people and feeling what we feel and seeing what we're going through and imagining what it might be like. And hopefully you were transported for a little while away from the bills that you have to pay or the work that you have to do or the family matters or, you know,
Yes.
this is what we're all about. And hold on, before I let go of that, I just want to say, and stuff like this, dude, I'm so proud of you. I'm so happy. Yeah, I'm so happy that you are here. It's very cool for me to see kids in this, and I'm bringing my kids. They're coming on Wednesday. I mean, like, even though they're...
But they have to behave in church.
Yes, they have to behave, but I'm so glad you're here, man, and I hope you keep coming.
Speaking of Andante, I am told it is time for us to Andante on in the rest of our evening, and I would very much like to thank Maestro Hindoyan and Eljko, Matthew Polenzani, and Liudmyla Monastyrska. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.